Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces. d5 establishes a presence in the center, controls the e4 square, and opens up the light-squared bishop. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. This develops the bishop and gives it scope on the long diagonal. One of the best moves. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board while also developing a rook. Very precise. Right on target. This gives away a free pawn. This misses an opportunity to capture a free pawn. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. That was a free pawn. Black develops the bishop and attacks the center. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. Now white can't stop black from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. This allows the opponent to develop a piece while also winning a tempo on a knight. The better move was to develop a piece while also winning a tempo on a knight. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is the only move that works. This stop, a solid choice. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. This is not the right idea. Black had an advantage, but now the game is close to equal. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Black combines recapturing with the development of a new piece. White develops further. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. The best option was to connect rooks. The better move was to offer an equal trade of pieces. This is the strongest option. Black's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. A very strong play. This allows the knight to control more squares. This doubles the rooks on a file, which allows them to team up to create threats. Very precise. The better move was to attack a pawn chain. The best option was to double rooks on a single file. This threatens to win material by adding pressure to a pinned piece. This allows the opponent to force an isolated pawn. One of the best moves. The knight moves out of a pin, while also providing critical defense to a piece. Right on target. This is an equal trade. A clear recapture. This kicks a knight. This threatens to eventually win a pawn. White was worse off, but now they are in a losing position. Black's knight has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This permits the opponent to eventually win material. This misses an opportunity to eventually win material. This avoids clear danger. This permits the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a bishop. This wins a tempo by threatening a bishop and forcing it to move away. The clearly correct move for a threatened bishop. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. This is the strongest option. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This avoids clear danger. Black's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. The better move was to centralize a knight so it controls more squares. Very precise. This threatens to tactically win a queen. Taking that pawn wins material after the follow-up trades are made. A straightforward recapture. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. This is the only move that works. This loses material. Capturing that queen wins material. Right on target. A clear recapture. The best option was to activate a rook by getting it to the 7th rank. A solid choice. This blocks an attack on a pawn. The best option was to create a passed pawn. This is the only move that works. A straightforward recapture. There was only one good move there. This allows the opponent to take an outpost with a bishop. This threatens to win a knight through a fork. This misses a much better move. This is the strongest option. A very strong play. White will be winning material with that fork. This moves the rook to safety. That pawn was free for the taking. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This evades the check from the rook. One of the best moves. This evades the check from the rook. A solid choice. A very strong play. One of the best moves. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. Pushing a passed pawn. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. This is the way to win a bishop. This stops the opponent from being able to force eventual checkmate. Takes back. This promotes a pawn to a queen. A solid choice. That was a free rook. This moves the bishop to safety. Now black can't stop white from winning a knight if they make the right moves.